All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And today's video, we are going to go over my stamina Necromancer build that I've been running for the last few weeks in PvP. I've tested a bunch of different things, guys. It's always been good to have your beliefs questioned, and I went back to the drawing board and really started from scratch on this. Because it's been a few months. It's been a few months since I played, and a bunch of new things came out, and I saw a bunch of people bragging about some sets, and I was like, sure, let's try it out. And so I ended up coming to some of the same conclusions I had in the past, and some are different. And so this video, we're just going to cover the build. I will have PvP footage later on in the week. We're going to break it up this time instead of having one 50-minute video. This one you can listen to in the car. The next one, you know, the gameplay stuff, you can actually watch and enjoy. So it'll be two different things instead of a mix of both. And I think I'm also going to do a total discussion on mythics, because I was discussing this build with people in my Discord, and I ended up on a mythic, and people really had questions, and I ended up writing it out like 3 or 4 times. And I honestly think it might warrant its own video. So if you guys want that, please let me know. We'll talk about when we get into it. So yeah, let's dive into the build now. So as far as consumables go, we're going to go back to Lava Foot. This is just the go-to for me. There's a few foods you can do. You can do the max health stamina recovery. You can do the max stamina recovery. It's just flipping different stats around. They're more or less the same. But yeah, we are stage 3 vampires, so I do have corrupting and purifying to stay at stage 3. The first set we're running is Titanborn. We got Titanborn on the front bar. And so if you guys haven't seen this set, 2-piece offensive penetration, 3-piece weapon and spell damage, 4-piece max stamina, 5-piece 106 weapon damage and weapon and spell damage, and 1196 offensive penetration. While in combat, this bonus doubles when you're under 75% health and quadruples when you're under 50% health. Now, this set gets confused by a lot of people. I can't tell you how many times people say, yeah, I don't want to do damage when I'm below 50% health. Not a good set. If you guys add up the stats to this set, at 100% health, this set is 1% less damage than Spriggans. 1%. And so the difference between this set and Spriggans is basically that when you get to lower health and you need to heal, you're going to get increased weapon damage. And so it's basically Spriggans with better healing. And so I've had the discussion in my Discord quite a bit. People are like, oh, you know, it's not as much weapon damage at 100% health. Yeah, but you're not healing at 100% health. You know, you're typically you're healing with rally when you're at 50% health. You're healing with vigor going into battles, and so when you drop lower, you'll get those bigger heals, so you can stay topped off more. I think this is a very good set. It's a very, very good offensive set. I only have it front barred right now. You obviously can double bar it, but in today's day and age with mythics, front bar, back bar, mythic monster set is kind of the go-to, and so that's what I am doing. And so this buffs my rally. And it makes it quite juicy. You can also bait people in with lower damage. So if you're 1v1ing somebody and they're quite tanky, you can do some baiting tactics where you can wait till you're at like 75 or 50% health, let them go offensive, and then you could, hit them with the wombo combo with more damage. So I like this set because it gives you potential to do more damage in certain situations. Sometimes you're kiting around 5-10 people and you just need to hit a Dawnbreaker because you're at half health and you need people off you. You're gonna do a shit ton of damage. You have a kill window because you all of a sudden are doing a ton more. You're doing Spriggans plus essentially. So like the set quite a bit. Back bar, Daedra Trickery. I know. No one else, Daedra Trickery. Yeah, it's a match made in heaven. We got defending with sturdy on the shield. This is just a good set. It's a really good set. Still one of the best defensive sets in the game, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's the best defensive set in PvP. Not for its overall mitigation, just for everything that it gives you. There's not many back bar defensive sets in the game. I just think this one's the best. I've tried other ones. I just keep coming back to this one. Max health, max stamina, max magicka. When you deal damage, you gain one of 5 major buffs for 21 seconds every 9 seconds. Eligible buffs are Expedition, Protection, Mending, Heroism, or Vitality. Basically, everything you get here allows you to be defensive. So either you get Major Expedition, so you don't have to hit your Race Against Time, you're a little bit faster. You're able to kite more, so you're a little bit more mobile. Protection, 10% damage mitigation. Mending and Vitality are both healing buffs, so it buffs your healing. And in this day and age, with a lot more people running Kinmarcher, with the reduction to base healing that they did in this last patch, I'm finding myself running the set more and more. Now, as far as other back bar sets, you could run Clever Alchemist. Clever Alchemist is also a good set. Those would be my top two, obviously, is Daedra Trickery and Alchemist. I just like Trickery because, yeah, it's just the addition of Kinmarcher has really lowered healing in some fights to a point to where I just feel like Trickery is a little bit better. Obviously, you can go full send for damage if you want. That's also a good option because it's a Necromancer. You're going to be tanky no matter what you wear. But yeah, I like Trickery for that reason. Double dot poisons in the back bar. You can do a couple different things. I like the double dots because Necromancer has that 15% dot passive, but you choose what you want to run. I go back between double dots and Escapists. Escapists are also good. I'm trying them both. I don't know which one I like more, to be honest. They're both good for different reasons. You decide. The other set, Balorg. Balorg, Trickery, no one else, match made in heaven. It's just such a good combination. Weapon and spell damage. When you use an ultimate ability, you gain weapon and spell damage equal to the amount of total ultimate consumed, and physical and spell penetration equal to 23 times the amount for 12 seconds. In my opinion, Balorg is the most stat-dense monster set in the game. It is the most stat-dense. There's good monster sets out there. There's great monster sets out there. Balorg is a great monster set. It is great. And so it's really tough to take Balorg off when you're 1vxing just because of the killing potential that it gives you. Now, a lot of people be like, well, else if you run a damage, back bar, then you can run a Mythic, you can run Gaze of Sithis, or you can run something else. Balorg plus another Mythic is better than Sithis plus a back bar 5-piece. Balorg is a better 2-piece than most damage 5-pieces. That's how good Balorg is. And so people look at it and they're like, oh man, you're missing out on Clever Alchemist. I'd rather have Balorg. Give me Balorg for the burst combo. It's just so good. And the other thing that you have with this is because you get major heroism with Trickery, it scales your Balorg very quickly. And so Balorg's damage is based off of the total ultimate that you have on your character at that point in time. And so the more ultimate you have when you teach your Dawnbreaker, the more damage your Balorg is going to do for that 12-second window. And so although Trickery isn't a damage set, Trickery combined with Balorg helps offset the lack of you running a damage set in the back bar because of major heroism. You can sit back the same amount of time, and because you have heroism rolling more, you can scale your ultimate more. Now, your top end damage, your top peak damage will not be as high as 2 damage sets in Balorg, but I would contend that your burst combinations will be similarly as good, but you'll have better healing with Trickery, which is why I made those choices. Typically, I'm running reinforced big pieces. Going back and forth, on this specific build, guys, I would run Sturdy on the small pieces. I think Sturdy's better for this specific fight. I do not have the transmutes. I only have like one set of Titanborn. I only have one set of Balorg, and so I don't have the transmutes switching back and forth. I don't really have any transmutes right now, and so they're currently in pen. It's not a bad choice. You could go will fitted also, but I would contend reinforced big pieces and sturdy small pieces are the best way to go for this build. Blocking more incoming damage will mitigate more for this specific build, and I think that's the best way to go. So infuse spell damage on the pieces. So we got 2 jewelry pieces. We have 1 body Titanborn, and we have the 2H, and then we have the 3 body pieces of Trickery with the sword and board back bar, with the guards of the trainee for the health piece, and then the Mythic that I chose is Death Dealer's Feet. Now, all this looks the same. A lot of this looks the same. You guys have already seen me run Trickery in the past. Obviously, you guys know I like Trickery and Balorg. You know I like Titanborn. I was running Titanborn 4 or 5 patches ago. With the Vatishran nerf, we're back to Titanborn. I think it's good for a lot of reasons. But what has changed on this build is going from Malakath to Death Dealer's Feet. And so this is one that actually caught me off guard. I really am a proponent of going back and questioning your builds, because oftentimes you get yourself stuck in a rut where you just look at the same things and you end up with the same conclusions. And sometimes you have to test those things. And it's been my belief that with people running lower impen, the potential to burst is higher with crit. And so, long story short, like I said, this will be its own video. I was dueling my buddy, and I was finding when I was running Malakath, not just on this build, but on other builds that I was trying, I was finding that with Malakath, I was doing more damage. Malakath is more pressure, but there's still some people that you just can't kill. There's just some people, like if you run across a couple Templars are good this patch, but Templars healing setup is really strong. When they're running Radiating Regen and they got a couple Purifies in the ground and all those heals are scaling, it's really tough to burst somebody with X amount of health when you're hitting the same consistent, steady damage over and over and over again. And so I was finding in a lot of fights I was stalemating just because of their heal spec or their mitigation or whatever. And that never used to be the issue in the past, but it seems to be a little bit more of an issue this patch. And so I was getting annoyed with stalemating. And so I wanted to take off Malakath, and I threw on Death Dealers. And I found that even with my low crit chance, and my crit chance is very low, guys, the fact that this bursts, because I'm running Race Against Time, and I have 60% crit modifier, one crit offsets the Malakath for my burst combo. Just one. And so if I hit 1 or 2 crits, I was all of a sudden killing people that I know I would stalemate with Malakath. So when I was dueling people, yes, sometimes the fight would last a while because crit RNG is rough, but the fight wouldn't last forever. It ended because I had more burst potential. And so I like it for that reason. The other thing too with this, guys, escalating feat, you get roughly 3,000 stamina, health, and magicka. The thing is with a Necromancer is you're already tanky. So I don't need to build into resistances to be tanky. I'm stage 3. I'm a Necromancer. I have Trickery. I'm tanky as shit. So I don't necessarily need Markin. Markin and its resistances are nice and its weapon damage is nice. But what Death Dealer does is because it gives you 3,000 health and 3,000 stamina and 3,000 magicka is I can reallocate my health. And so not only do I get 3,000 stamina, like I'm always going to run, not 3,000. Not only on my builds, I will always be running 30,000 stamina in PvP on my Stamina Necromancer. That's just my benchmark for what I like to run. But because I have Death Dealer, I could take points out of health and put them into stamina. So the 3,000 for health gets reallocated into stamina and it turns into 6,000 stamina running Death Dealers because of that reallocation. If I take Death Dealers off, I know this probably doesn't make sense, so I'm sorry. I'm just gonna show you guys really quickly. I'm below this max health mark. Like when I have Death Dealer on with full stacks, I have 31k health. If I want 31k health, I have to take points out of stamina and put it into health, and it drops me down to 27, 26k stamina. So I can run Malakath with 26k stam, or I can run Death Dealers. Sorry, it's up. That's how we go alphabetically. Or I can go 31k stam and 32k stam and 31k health. And so that's the difference. So when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's only 3,000 stamina, it's like 275 weapon damage. For this specific build, because I don't need other resistances, it's actually more. It's 6,000. And so it closes the gap on the base damage difference enough to where the crit value increases. And on top of that, because I have more max stats, because I have more overall damage, flat damage, not percent modifier damage, my healing is better with Death Dealer than it is with Malakath. Now, I will go through this in a video. Like I said, I've talked about this a few times. Like some people, they're confused by this, but long story short, I hate stalemating. In order to not stalemate against more builds, you need more burst. Necromancer is a burst class. Dawnbreaker, Blast Bones, D-Swing. They're 3 hard-hitting things. If one of those things crits, it offsets the Malakath. If 2 of them crit, I'm doing way, way more damage. And so I would rather not stalemate, and I'd rather have a fight go on for a longer period of time and not have that situation than, run Malakath and have that more steady pressure. Because the squishier guys, I'm going to kill anyways. It's not a big deal. So that's the long story short. Like I said, there will be a video done about that in particular. But yeah, with Death Dealers fully stacked, 31k health, 18k magicka, 32k stamina, just a little bit more damage in that end. Stage 3, Serpent Mundus. As far as the skills go, got Resolving Vigor, Summoner's Armor, Race Against Time. In this day and age with all the snares, Mag DK is better with Talons. A lot of them are running Cinderstorm, Eruption, with just Dark Convergence with their snare. There's just a lot of snares that exist in the game. I think you need snare removal. And in my opinion, it comes down to Shuffle or Race Against Time. And if you're running a sword and board build, although Shuffle's nice, you don't get that movement speed. And I found myself getting stuck and snared quite a bit because I couldn't be fast. And because Necromancer has very, very few magicka dumps, we have this, we have our Guardian, we have our armor buff, I found myself able to sustain Race Against Time in most fights. And so that's why I run it. You can actually run Race Against Time with base Recov on a Necromancer because that's how little of a magicka dump you have on this class, which is quite nice. Spirit Guardian, 10% damage mitigation. Pierce Armor. It's just a good skill, guys. Like when it lands, it's really good. It's it's essentially, when you look at it, it's it's the 5-piece for stun, and it's the 5-piece for Spriggan in the same skill. So instead of 55, it's 51.26, so it's almost that. Spriggan's is like 33, and this is 29.76. It's almost 2 5-piece bonuses with the same skill. And so it's just so much damage. And so, once again, people are going to say, well, what about overpenning? I'm not worried about overpenning people with 15k resistances because they're going to die anyways. I'm already doing enough damage to them. I'm not worried about overpenning those guys. The people that I'm worried about are the healers, are the Necromancer, are the people that can keep people alive, Necromancer tanks, the guys that are running 30, 40, 50k resistances with stage 3 Vampire, and they're keeping people alive with HOTS that need to go down, or they need to die after they get revived, because after other people go down, because they're going to nonstop revive. They're going to be the problem for me. And so I want the damage versus them, because then I can end all of the 1vx, not kill 2 or 3 people, stalemate against the other 2 or 3 and walk away, because I don't want to stalemate. No stalemates 2022. Front bar, Dawnbreaker Smiting. Buff up with Rally here. Dawnbreaker Smiting, Dizzying Swing, Blighted Blastbones, Rally, Mortal Coil, Executioner. So those are the skills. The ult on the back bar, I go back and forth between Sword and Board ult and Swarming Scion. It really depends. Like more often than not, I end up with Sword and Board ult, because Sword and Board ult's just so nice against gankers and a bunch of other things. But every once in a while, like, you just kind of want to go Vampire, because it just opens up opportunities to just do more damage. And so you don't really die while you're in this either. And because you have Trickery on, you do have Major Heroism, and like, you can scale up to this quicker. They're both good options. Obviously, you can go Goliath as well. I go back and forth, but those are the ults I use in the back bar. As far as the champion tree goes, normal stuff. Go to the champion bar. We got Rationer, Warmount, Gifted Rider, Steed's Blessing, Greenwoods, whatever you want to do. Unassailable. Deadly Aim, damage done with single target attacks, damage done with area of effect attacks, reduce your damage, direct damage attacks, and reduce your damage of area effect attacks. If you don't want to do 2 defensive ones, I would do the area of effect attacks first. Most things you fight in PvP are AoE. If you're having a hard time with Nightblades, then go single target. That's up to you. Got Celerity, Survival Instinct, Pain's Refuge, and Slippery. Slippery is just I mean, sometimes you can't CC break. If the game don't got you, your CP got you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, other consumables. As far as potions go, I got Detect Pots, Try Pots, and Weapon Crit Pots. So in most fights, I'm trying to get by with Weapon Crits, because you get more Weapon Critical, obviously. And so you can burst a little bit more. You still get health and stamina. But sometimes you're fighting severely outnumbered. You just got to go to Tripods, so you have the mag sustain to hit Race Against Time more. So it really depends on the fight, but I got them hotkeyed. So if I need to switch, I just switch for the specific fight for kiting. And as soon as it dies down enough and I know I don't need to Race Against Time as much, then I switch back to the crit pots. And so, yeah, that's the build. Some things changed, like I said. I took off I took off Malakath and I put on Death Dealer's Feet. I like it more. Some things have not changed. I am running Trickery and Balorg and a front bar offensive set. And so in this case, Titanborn. So those are the things that have changed. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. There will be more gameplay with this build coming out. We're already at 20 minutes, so we're just going to end the build here. Hopefully this makes sense for you guys. But yeah, questions, let me know. Comments, let me know. And I will catch you there. Take it easy, guys. Have a nice day.